we are made to wonder how things are right now in Kenya. I don't want us to think about many other things happening outside the country, because you always say that thing is very far. We think about Roe versus Wade, the mega ruling that was made a few years ago, like, wow. And then you're like, that is too far away from us. But I want us to get back home here. Kenya, in 2024-2025, they reported that a total of 792,000 babies were murdered in the womb in a period of 1 year. That figure is different from what was reported in the year 2012, which they told us that 464,000 of them were murdered. I want you to picture this. This is just the reported number. So the unreported one is possibly higher. So it means that in a year, Kenya kills over 700,000 babies. That's a genocide. You think about that, you remember what happened in Nazi, the eugenics in Nazi in Germany. There's no difference with that. And so when we have a group of people campaigning and demonstrating for reproductive health care in the name of women's rights, and in this case, they specifically say we are campaigning for safe abortion, access to safe abortion, they are wrong. In other words, what they are saying is that we want to facilitate, we are campaigning for safe murder. And in this particular case, they have managed to kill over 790,000 babies have been killed safely. Hey, that's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. But as if this is very far away from you may think that's in the world, outside there in the world. But let me give you a shocking story. I lead an organization called Life Integrity Network. Life Integrity Network, one of the biggest things that we do is to fight for the preborn life. We did a survey in December 2025. That's very recent, 7 or 8 months ago. We did a survey in 2025, and in this particular survey, we wanted to know the prevalence of abortion rates between the regular attendees of a local church and those who are not regular attendees. But let me shock you. 74.7% of the regular attendees of a local church have directly or indirectly procured an abortion. That's a tragedy. So when we are here thinking that 792,000 of them are just outside there in the world, it's happening right here in the pews. That's a tragedy. Does it mean that we don't know that that's a human being? We know. Your pastors labor every Sunday. You know the truth of God's word. You know the truth of the sanctity of human life, the image of God in everyone. I know these things are not new to you here. A 2-month-old baby bearing the image of God, it's not a new thing. We know the truth. We know the truth that Pastor Michael preached in the morning, Exodus 20:13, that thou shalt not murder. But now, I presented this survey to a pastor in Nairobi, a pastor of a biblical church, good church, solid church. So the pastor could not believe it. He said that, Esau, I want you to help me do a survey in my own local church. I did that. I formed a link very quickly, formed it, then shared it anonymously to the members. As if that's enough, 3/4 of the respondents in his local church had directly or indirectly procured abortion when they were members and regular attendees of that local church. This is a real local church with real people, pastored by a real pastor, hearing real sermons every Sunday. And so these things are not very far away from us. They are here. They are here. But now you begin to wonder, what's happening? And to make it even worse, these things are not just among the single people. The married, they kill their babies left, right, and center. The married in biblical churches, they procure these things. You wonder, do they know the doctrine of Imago Dei? We are so good in doctrine. I do. If you are not me, I do. You can even tell them in Greek and Latin, put them together. But what's happening when it comes to the life that is in the womb? Doctrine is separated from how we live. And that is sad. Very, very sad. So irrespective of where the number lies, whether 460,000 or 790,000, the tragedy is thousands and millions of babies are being killed in Kenya. So as we are about to look at the why, the why of the sanctity of the preborn life, I wanted to picture it very clearly. And perhaps some of you are working for these organizations that push for these stuffs. Perhaps you work for them. But I'm sorry, I think I would tell you to resign and seek for another job. Please do. 6 years ago, I went to do a public appeal and defense of these preborn children in a well-known facility in Nairobi that is leading in the murder of human beings every day. I did it for a couple of weeks until one day they physically came after me. I had to fly. I didn't run. I had to fly. It's good for you to know some of these institutions. ReCFoK is leading in the murder of babies in this country. It's not a private thing. That's a public thing. It's a public thing. We have court cases with them every day. And many other institutions, many other hospitals that murder babies every day. And they do it as a source of earning. ReCFoK International reported last time that over 80% of their revenue came from abortion-related fees. So you pay someone to kill your own baby. Are we really thinking? Why do we suspend our minds, our brain sometimes? What's happening? It's because we have forfeited the truth of God's word that life begins at conception, and the life that begins at conception is sacred because it bears God's image. Because God, the creator of everything, is the one who authored that life, and so we disregard that completely. Now life looks like something that I can manufacture. No, life is given by God and must be treated as so.
To whom is the problem when a child is aborted, the doctor or the one who is being aborting?
Who is to be blamed? In 2022, the case that went to the High Court was because a doctor was sued for procuring an abortion of a 16-year-old girl. And then the pro-choice group went to defend the doctor. So, do we put the blame on the doctor alone or on the girl because the girl was a minor? No. Everyone has a responsibility. All of them, they have a responsibility. For those who are medics, if you're a nurse, you have something in a principle of nursing called do no harm. It's same as principle in medicine. So when you are killing a baby, you are causing harm to another human being. So that has been forfeited. So both the girl or the woman, the doctor, the facility, they are all responsible. They all carry the responsibility, and they should all be held accountable. In fact, you should take even further. If the lady didn't have transport or the abortion fee, we should hold accountable the man or the person who provided that fare or that abortion fee. Yeah. So they all contribute to the same thing. So there's no single one person. All of them, they are part of that. For a doctor and a medic, you're going against what you are taught in school. Remember the case of someone in the north in Moyale, a quack who opened a clinic, does not have even a class 8 certificate, opened a clinic and was offering abortion services. You can check in the DCI page. You will see that quack.
Yeah, from your experience, do we have a piece of legislation in Kenya that prohibits abortion? Because if you're going to regulate human beings generally, you have to regulate them through the law. Do we, if these cases go to the Supreme Court and the High Court, which piece of legislation do they use? And can we as Christians come up with or rally towards creating a piece of legislation that prohibits abortion?
The Constitution of Kenya 2010 wasn't so clear. It opened a door. That door in Article 26 has never been closed. That door is hard to close. So that's why it is subject to misinterpretation. So it's Article 26 that the High Court used in 2022. And so since 2022, they have been using this ruling to procure this abortion. However, there are a number of bills before the floor of the National Assembly that are there to make it a legal thing. Number one bill is the Susan Kihika Bill of 2018. It is still before the floor of the House. Perhaps because the now governor left did not vie again to become the women rep of Nakuru. There are a number of other bills before the floor of the House. If you've been keen on what's going on before the House, we've had the issue of surrogacy and IVF was recently passed by the National Assembly and was tabled is now before the Senate Health Committee, who will table it before the whole House. So in that bill, it's there, it's included. But now, as we speak right now, we don't have a direct law that is so straight that is telling us that this thing is wrong. So all these things are happening as a result of a door that was opened in 2010 during the promulgation. So the pro-life group in Kenya are now working for a constitutional change so that we have it stated directly in our constitution to stop it completely.